Hey folks, welcome back to more Transport Fever 2. My name is Tobel. We are just outside of the town of Ponteland, and we're kind of waiting for our lumber industry to kind of kick in here. So lots of logs sitting at the actual depot itself. Not a lot of logs yet have been delivered to the sawmill. So we're waiting for that to happen. Once that does, we're going to start getting more and more tools delivered to or made from this factory, which then we can deliver into Ponteland itself. Now, it looks like we're only supplying like 17 right now. Per year. So it is working somewhat. We're not quite making as much money as we could because we don't have a full load. So once our train is able to have all, 28 of its inventory spaces with tools, then we're going to have a nice full big load there. But right now we're only sitting at 12. So I just bought a ton, actually I just sent this into the red by buying a ton more trucks in order to get the log, kind of all this backlog of logs, and we're going to have that delivered soon. So we'll come back and check on that towards the middle of the episode. What I want to do this episode, as I scroll far down south, I'd like to set up and test out a passenger line. And I want to test out a passenger line between Kempston and Royal Tunbridge. And if that works well, I'd also like to expand that to New Biggin by the Sea. I think the distances are far enough that we're going to have a pretty decent demand. The towns themselves are really big. So what we're going to do, first off, is like any good person, we're going to start borrowing a crap ton of money from the bank. Right. That is that. I'm going to go ahead and just pause things for a little bit so I don't miss any important problems with the networks or anything like that. So we're going to pause the game. Now, looking over between the different areas, I'm going to start with Royal Tunbridge and Kempston. But keeping in mind, I do want to curve up and go to New Biggin by the Sea. I'm probably going to put our passenger train station here along the northern part of the city. And then by and large, I think, let's take a look at, there's some cliffs there. So it wouldn't actually hurt just to kind of curve up along this route here and then go all the way into Kempton. I am going to be bypassing Arlesay because at the moment, I don't think there's enough demand to incorporate a train stop. Maybe down the road if we're, much bigger, that might be a thing. But right now I'm going to try to focus on the big cities, so 200, people plus. And it's really kind of also testing. I don't really know how the balance is of this game yet. So I'm curious to see how we're going to do if we have a train network in here. So let's do a couple of things. Let's curve this road over because I think I'd like to set up, and we're going to destroy. We would have to destroy the house if we did this. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do is put down a train station. It will be a passenger station. Ooh, it's a little tight. I mean, we could always, remove the roads and expand later on. I could remove this road, and I think I'm going to. We're going to remove this road. I'm going to put my passenger station down right over here, kind of at a bit of an angle. How sharp is this going to be? I mean, we can always just do a nice, easy turn. It's not a big deal. We've got plenty of space. Nothing's really between us and that curve. So I'm going to put the station right here. And that's a pretty decent catchment area already. You can see if I put it against the rail there, or against the road rather, a lot of these buildings are in the catchment area. I do want to extend a basic road, just a little bit of a road coming off a little bit, just to give us a little bit of a buffer. It also wouldn't hurt because down the road you can expand your passenger lines. Like I told you before, we can do like this. You can have freaking 8 lines and a super long track if we need to. The other cool thing I found is you can actually make modular adjustments to your existing station. That's something I believe that is completely new in this iteration of Transport Fever. So once you have a station, you can actually configure it, and then say you want to add in more track here. For some reason, you could have a track terminate where the station is. You can add more platforms. It's actually really kind of cool, to be honest. You can only add a few things here and there, but you can kind of customize the look of your main train station. I think it's actually kind of neat. And I'm sure more modules here will be added with, as people continue to develop the game. Here's a curiosity. Can we actually add a cargo building onto what would be a passenger line? That's interesting. It seems like it's letting me do that. This is a medium main building. So it's acting like we actually could put down a cargo building. So maybe you can have a combined stop, which would be kind of neat and actually make sense a little. I don't know. I don't know if freight lines don't often, the ones I've encountered, I don't profess to have a lot of knowledge about the in-depth train industry, but I don't know, are there stops that are both passenger and cargo in one spot? Who knows? It's kind of cool though. So what we're going to do is start expanding our line out towards the great city of whatever that was, Kempston over there. So I'm going to fast forward a bit and continue to build my line and try to get over that way. Okay, so while I'm in the middle of doing this, this is a kind of a good example of how the game handles different terrain. So as you saw here, I kind of came into a hilly area. So I tried to split the difference. You can see the hills kind of curve down here, curve down here. So I went through the middle, which is fine, except that the hill drops away pretty steeply. So the game tries to keep the elevation smooth, normally. Now you can actually affect the height of your track by clicking on this little button here. This means that it's going for like a level terrain and kind of adjusting it. So for example, if you wanted to manually go higher or lower, you can raise or lower the terrain. If you click it away, it's going to try to naturally follow whatever the segment is. So really, I don't want to make it super sharp. I was trying to make this curve, but this is going to have to slow us down quite a bit. I think I'm just going to eat the cost and have this extended. You can see how we've got like a big pile of dirt in order to keep the line relatively smooth, because you don't want a huge dip, right? Because trains aren't going to be able to hit that kind of a change in elevation easily, especially these early model trains, right? So we made it to the town of Kempton. Now, I think this is going to be more of a terminus line. I don't think I'm going to continue this line on. So we're going to look for a nice spot to put down a terminus station. So if we go into the buildings here, passenger terminus station instead of the side-on station. And where, oh where, all the passengers are up here. I mean, to be fair, residents and business people and commercial people will all use the rail line. So it's not like putting it in the rail area is a bad thing. Now here's a nice spot because we can have a road cut out and then meet our station. So I like that a lot. And there's also room behind here in order to put down a truck stop or a bus stop. So let's do that. Excuse me, got a little bit of a hiccup there. We're going to put, I think I can raise it up. You do want to be a little careful. I'd rather have the back of the station be more level than the front. So there is a lovely looking station. Perfect. We're going to throw that down there. I'm going to extend the road out of the town. It's not, I don't know if there's a way or a command yet to make nice 90 degree. Actually, that kind of snapped to it. That's a nice snap there. All right, 90 degrees or so. We're going to add a little road. I'm also going to go ahead and throw down a bus stop that's a little bigger in case this town tends to get really busy down in the future here. So we're going to have a bus stop right across from our train station. And what's going to happen is we're going to start working on a taxi network in order to deliver people from the train station closer to their homes. And we'll work on that here in just a bit. But before we do that, I do want to finish the pack line. So all I have to do is connect this little bit of track. We'll cut a little bit into the angle here. A little steep, sharp angle. But I mean, it's the end of the line anyways. There we go. That's not too bad. You gotta be a little careful sometimes too. First, the snapping will sometimes go side to side. So you might think your line is completely done, but when you try to put your train on the track, it's like, no, I can't do that. So just take a look and see if maybe a small section of your track has been misaligned. We'll also throw down our transport building, our train. Oops, that was I'm using M and N to rotate, and I accidentally hit the arrow greater than less than raises and lowers your building up. There we go. We'll throw you down here, so we can actually buy our lovely Russian engine Model 5, whatever the thing was. I do plan on having some advanced stuff down the road, so we are going to share our line with other trains, but it's way in the future. I'm definitely starting from scratch. I am going to try to skip through the periods of time if I can before the beta is over, because I'd like to. I'm assuming that my save is going to get kind of knocked off once the game releases, so I'm going to try to use as much as I can now, and probably restart once the game comes out with another full-on Let's Play with whatever I've learned from this little trial here. So, right now, this section of Kempston is serviced by our truck stop and / train station. So everyone here, I think this means they either instantly show up or they're happy to walk here. I don't know what the catchment area entails. The bus stop here can actually be used, and the bus stop honestly gets almost everyone else in town. So what I'm going to do is add one more bus stop for just these folks out here, and I do think that the city, let me change it to over this one instead. I think the city will be expanding in this direction because there's a lot of open flat land. You can see some of the game mechanics have already started to expand in this direction. So we're going to throw a bus stop down here, and what I'm going to do is create a taxi line And I'm just going to call this XX, and we're going to call this was this Kempton? Kempston Taxi A. I think it was Kempton. Yeah, K-E-M. Perfect. So Kempton Taxi A. The taxi route is a little bit different. What I do for these, let's go ahead and do the road. Oh, did I actually not make it? I just named it. So what we're going to do is just add the bus stop here. I'm going to hit this stop here, and we're going to finally hit this stop on the way back in. All this is doing is you're trying to hit all of the people in town. You're trying to make sure that you're servicing everyone in town. In fact, I'm going to add one more bus stop over here because I don't know the exact calculation. Some people in the game, the people, the little NPCs in the game, will sometimes prefer expediency over cost. Other people will prefer cost over expediency. So, for example, that means those folks will be happy to take the carriage ride because it's cheaper. So what I'm trying to do is get a nice balance where we have a bus stop relatively close to everyone's home. So there's no delay. And I don't know if that's a factor or not. I know frequency is always a thing. Frequency, if we look at our line here, is how often a vehicle stops at a stop on average. How often it takes for a vehicle to get somewhere. And that's important. You want to keep that number down, especially when it comes to your train lines, because you want to get people to your train line as fast as possible, because that calculation is part of their entire calculation overall, their entire trip length. So however long it takes them to get a taxi from here to the train station, and then the train station to the next city, that's all part of the same calculation. I think this is some like witchcraft knowledge that I think I'm remembering from a previous iteration. So I don't exactly know where the calculation is or if we even know it. These were passenger vehicles, were they not? They are. I had a bunch of spare vehicles here, so we're going to take 5 of them and assign them. We'll get 6 of them. Why not? We'll assign them to the local route here. That's the XX taxi route. Okay, so Kempston is now serviced with the kind of the taxi style. And I'm going to do the same thing over here in Royal Tunbridge. We're going to grab one bus stop for the industry folks over here. We'll grab one bus stop for the folks that live out in the suburbs. And then one more just on the side of town in case the town expands in that direction. So pretty small amount of stops. We'll do another line, XX. And this is the crap. I already forgot the name of the town, of course, because I'm super smart. Royal Tunbridge. So R-O-Y. And we'll call this the Taxi 8. Sometimes I have reverse routes. Sometimes I have more direct routes from like downtown straight to the train station as I grow. So that's why I label them, A, B, or C. Depending on what I'm doing, I might change things up. I still have not made any stops there. So there we go. Oh, we need a station. Let's throw down, you know what? This stop is really already close. I don't think we really need that stop. It's already close to where the station is. So we'll throw down this bus stop here. Again, just across the street. Small, minor detail. It's like coming out of Grand Central in Chicago. You just have to go outside, grab your Uber, wait for like 20 minutes in traffic, and you're golden. I've taken so many train rides. I'm obsessed with riding the Amtrak. I love, love, love the Amtrak. And so far I've taken the northern and the northern route like 3 separate times. You know what? After a certain point though, I feel like I've seen all there is to see. All right, we're going to add some more stations here. We're going to do bus. Oh shoot, the line is not all that smooth. Yeah, that's no big deal. We'll have the kind of the bus coming down here, stop, go here, stop, and then kind of come back in and stop. Perfect. All right, so that's all taken care of. Let's go ahead and go back to the road depot, grab a couple more of these vehicles here, and we'll throw them on our other taxi line in Royal Tunbridge. Beautiful. And now the only thing we have left to do is buy our actual... let's make the train route, first off. This is going to be our passenger rail. And it's going to be Kempston to Royal Tunbridge. Perfect. Now we'll grab that train. And hopefully, it's going to take a while for this demand to build up, but hopefully it's going to be relatively lucrative for us. So here's the thing. I know that on this route, it's pretty flat. I really don't think we're going to have too many issues going uphill. Now here's do you know this measurement? I don't know what this means. Is this... So top speed for slope, if it's flat, the train can go 40 kilometers per hour. Maybe it means, instead of the word or, maybe they meant in. So in 1,200 meters, you'll do 1,200 meters in 3 minutes? Is that what it's telling us right here? If we take this away, does it change the calculation? It does. I'm really confused about what this means in 96 seconds. So does this mean the existing route, or is there like just a number here? Like I'm assuming it's telling me it's gonna do what, 40 kilometers in 96 seconds? Is that what it's telling me? Or 7? It's like the measurement of parsecs. I'm not sure. Someone who is smarter than I, please tell me. We're gonna go with a nice big capacity here. I'm gonna just like faith this into existence. We're gonna hope that our line is so popular, we're gonna take 50 passengers each time we stop. So here comes our next big purchase, the Russian Class 5. This is going to be our passenger line. Hey, can we name our vehicle as we are? Ooh, we can color it. Oh God, that's gaudy as all get out. That's actually kind of cool though. I like that you can, if you want to be mega gaudy, you absolutely can be mega gaudy. Is it Christmas time? Oh yes, it's Christmas time. Oh, that's awful. It's actually really cool. I like that you can kind of change all this stuff. Do we want to have like a unique line? Like how Amtrak's got that steel blue kind of a look. Do we want to have like the flying purple V? No, God, that's awful. All right, we'll just do a nice heather green. Is that heather green? Sure. Well, the engine's heather green though. Poopy brown. You know what? We're gonna steal from. These colors are awful. There we go. Sure, why not? All right, let's add these cars back before I lose my mind in customization options. Can't seem to name it here, so I know you can name it afterwards. So if you wanted to keep an eye on, if you wanted to give your names, your trains a custom name, you absolutely can. We'll throw this onto the Kim Roy line, and hopefully, let's go ahead and unpause the game for a minute. We will see our lovely. Wait, where am I at? I lost it. There it is. We're gonna see our lovely new train, all fresh, oh so clean. Look at this beauty. I love this camera, by the way. This is really, really cool. Just kind of one guy down here, just absolutely covered in soot. He is gonna have a lot of medical problems later in life, but he looks happy about it. He looks super happy, actually. They've got the smiling conductor down pat. Maybe you're just really grimacing, and that's what I just took. Ooh, we are slow out of the gate, and is this a hill? Maybe I did not quite plan this out right. Look how slow we are right now. This is a pretty steady little incline. Now the harder part, I think, let me look at the elevation. Did I put us up? It's a couple of hills. Yeah, that is a bit of a hill. I don't know what it's considered to be though. We can look at track speeds. We can't really look at like what the elevation would be considered because every train's different, right? So we're only going 14 kilometers per hour through here, which is a bit rough, but maybe when it's full speed, it's going to hit this section a little bit easier. We'll take a look. So we'll let this run for a little bit, and hopefully our passenger lines here will start to grow in demand. Let's go back to the Great North. Actually, real quick, before I leave this area, ooh, look at all of our lines right now. We are making a pretty penny across the board. So what is not working out for us? The damn tool line is still not doing too hot. Okay, so what's the problem here? Let's, too many escape clicks. There we go. What's the problem with the tool line? We're still not maxed out in tools. Okay. Where is the issue? We are using 32% of all wood. We are only transporting 44% of the goods. Means we need more trucks on this line. We still have a little bit of money left, so let's go ahead and buy a crap ton more. I'm going to grab a full 10. I normally do these like when I'm making adjustments, especially early on in the game. Early on, it's completely different from later when you've got buses and other stuff like that. Early on, you're going to be having an absolute ton of these vehicles because they can only carry like 3 or 5 goods at a time. So don't feel weird that you are constantly buying horses and carriages. Keep in mind, though, as technology progresses, you will probably want to tone that down to match the new carrying capacity of your vehicles. Right. So, we almost have a full load ready for pickup. Let's see how much money we make when we drop off at Puntland, because we're almost there anywho. It's 24 in the bag. And a nice, cool 200,000. That is a really, really nice delivery. So 200,000 to Puntland. And we have already supplied them with 11 this year, and there are 20 more. So still plenty of room to kind of increase how much we're taking to this town. And honestly, it's a pretty, I keep hitting 4, thinking that it's going to speed things up. It's a pretty short run. So I think as we go, we are going to keep making more and more money from this as we increase the amount of goods we're using. A little bit of a pickup here. Oh, we're empty now. Okay. That was because I just bought a crap ton of vehicles. So we can counter this by buying another crap ton of vehicles. to bring more wood, because we still have a massive oversupply of wood at the other station. So let's throw this onto the log route. You can see here that there's still over 100 logs sitting at the station. They're actually going to waste because they're sitting out here so long. So we'll keep bumping all of these numbers up. You do have to be a little careful. You can have an infinity number of trucks on the road, right? But the problem will be there's always going to be some traffic. So as things get busier and busier, we are going to have an issue with traffic. The cool thing is you can also, you can kind of customize your train station. Apparently, you can customize your little stops as well. So, in theory, what we could do, what kind of cargo customization can we have here? We can extend the depth of the stop, I guess. We can do this. Oh god, I'm broke again. There was also like a one-way. So if we wanted, people to come in and drop something off, and then go out a different route, we could. Which might be a little bit easier if we had them all leaving, for example, out a different route. What if we had everybody leaving here? So you come in, you pick up your goods, and then you just keep on going? Well, we don't have any money, so we're not going to mess with that too much. All right, I'm going to let this run for a little bit, and I will be back once we have more money. And, ooh, look, we are way up in demand right now. 43, sitting here waiting patiently for our train to arrive. Super exciting. Okay, so I'm taking a look at Royal Tunbridge real quick. We can tell that there is a massive amount of people here waiting for the stop. You also will notice that because the stations are really busy, you'll see that there is, I think it'll change over time, but the more crowding you have, the more complaining you will get from the city. So it is actually a negative on the growth. Not like it's a huge negative, but it could become a problem if a lot of the stops have that same, demand or supply. Oh, interesting. So some passengers leave because the station is overloaded. Okay, so there's demand for pretty much both routes, or pretty much all of our routes right now. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take out one more loan. We're still 500,000 from hitting the cap on loans, and it is a little brutal, but early on, there is a balance between either you build really small and you just fast forward a while and wait to pay down that loan completely, or you kind of play with the loan and, pay back when you're able. I think we still should have some spare vehicles in stock. Oh, we only have 2 more. Okay, we're going to add this to Royal Tunbridge for ROY. This is where it starts to get a little more hard to see things. I guess I could have colored this better. Although it's nice to just hover over it and look for, the section of road you're looking for. So, let's get more to this line. What else do we need more vehicles for? Huh? Hey, let's take a look at one of the people, too. Where are you going from? You're heading to Commercial Building via Roy something. It was the taxi. So now it says she wanted, if I can find her again, I probably can't. She wanted to go all the way over there. So you're going to an industrial building via the taxi, meaning you should wind up going to the train station. The problem right now, I think, is frequency. Let's look at frequency for, I don't know, can I search by Roy? ROY? 95 seconds. Generally, the frequency, you want the frequency to be pretty low. The ones that are 4 minutes are the ones that actually go out to between cities. But 100 seconds, I think it's too far between our passenger runs. So, let's take a look. Roy, this one. Frequency of 69 seconds is not bad, though. Do we want to just keep adding a ton? So there's really no wait? I haven't figured out the magic number yet for frequencies in this game. All right. We're going to add a bunch of vehicles all across the board. I think pretty much all of our lines right now are making money. Yeah, all of our lines are making money. Roy Taxi has not yet. The main passenger rail has not yet because we're still not quite building up the demand. So we're going to grab a bunch of vehicles. One thing I forgot. I wonder if I could do this for one of the towns. It's not like it's too late. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I want to mess with some trams. Before the end of this episode, trams are a little bit different. They can carry a little bit more. I think they have an increased maintenance cost, and you do have to do some modifications to your roads, but trams are fun. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into the road section, and we're going to go to streets, and then this button here, the street modification. What this is going to allow us to do is to convert, basically place some embedded tracks in the road. So early on, I think in this age, we don't have electricity here. We're just basically putting tracks in the grooves in the road, which makes it easier and smoother for the horse to pull the carriage. So we are going to convert everything to tram that's along our main route, right? This is our passenger route here. So what we're going to do, we've got the tram set down, and we're going to throw down, I need a spot for a tram station, because the building that supplies the vehicle has to be the tram depot instead of the road depot. So it does have to connect into a tram line, like so. Perfect. So now, if we were to say, let's buy, you know what? Let's really make this town happy. Let's give them like 8 tram taxis here, 238k oofers. And we're going to assign them, my game is like stuck scrolling south. Okay, can we not? Let's assign all these to the tram line. All right, there we go. So it's more passengers. You're getting 5 per. I don't know, let's see. What are we going to hit 88 miles per hour here? What are you going to hit? You can hit 18 miles per hour on the tram, okay? You can hit, 18 miles an hour with the carriage. So the speed is the exact same. I think it's just more passengers per vehicle then in this one. So you're getting 5, and plus look at that. It looks adorable. Side note, is it 1 person per bench? Come on. That is a waste of space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Killing me. All right. So we're going to let the tram run for a bit, hopefully boost up that taxi route here in Royal Tunbridge. I think I'm going to do the same over in Kempston. I like making my local taxi routes have the trams. I don't know why, it's just a cute little thing. So we're going to do that for Kempston and the other city, Royal, for just a bit. Now this one, it should be relatively easy to do. We're just going to do this here. And I think our route is something like this, if I remember right. We go over here, come down, and I think if you do something and the route doesn't exist like that yet, they'll adjust the route to fit the line. So if you have trams on a line, I think they'll adjust to use whatever tram lines you have. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Do not quote me. And we shall put down another tram building. That is a train building. Shame on me. There we go. Tram. Supply depot. Nice, lovely. We'll put this right next to someone's residential house. Nothing like living right next to a tram depot. Not like it's going to be super busy all the time. Just, relatively loud on occasion. And we'll throw probably as much as we can afford, which is about 6 or so. Throw them onto the Kempston, right? K-E-M? There we go. And that was pretty easy. So very easy to do. It just adds, it adds another, method of transportation to your network is all. So more people, more frequency, a reduced frequency, which hopefully would mean more people coming to hang out at our train station. And I'm still, like I said before, I'm still trying to get that balance where we make everyone happy. We're trying to satisfy the demand. The weird thing is that there's only 8 people sitting here, and it could just be that they don't, let's see, look at the taxi demand here. There's 8 people waiting on the taxi line, but they're leaving because the station is full. Oh, maybe that's what I was struggling with last time I played this. And I didn't have any passengers because the passenger line was the last thing I added. So we need to satisfy these other lines first. All right, I'm going to spend the last of our money. We're going to borrow another 500,000, and I'm going to add a bunch of vehicles to the RL Cam, basically the Trans-City, whatever kind of route you'd call that. So I will do this, my friend. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm going to put a cut in right here. I hope to catch you again in the next episode. We'll see if we're making any money, maybe try to speed the game up and pass through a couple of years in game. So thank you again, as always, for joining me. I've been Tobal. You've been awesome. Take care.